I guess we'll start with the two of you guys. If you can tell us just a little bit about your characters and what attracted you to the roles, what made you want to play them?
I play Eleanor Kane. She is a 12-year-old girl, space nerd, loves astronomy. She was just a regular kid until she got bitten by a creature, in this case a vampire. And for the past 10 years, she's been running alongside with her dad, just trying to be on the run, survive, not get caught, until she meets this boy who might change that forever.
Okay.
I am Mark Kane, and I'm the father of this beautiful girl. I was just on my way of becoming a rock star in the food industry when everything changed. I'm a great chef, but nothing is greater than my love for my daughter. And that's exactly what I do 10 years before the story begins. I renounced to everything and the life I had and life as I knew it in order to keep my daughter safe and alive and healthy.
What can you all say about playing out a family drama against this backdrop, right? Because at the end of the day, if we don't care about your characters, it doesn't work, and we do right from the start. So can you talk about that relationship?
Yeah, it's more so everybody helps each other. If I'm not here, what is he gonna do? He might become a cooking star, but his purpose to keep me alive isn't there. And same thing for him. If he's not here, I'm gonna die. I can't survive. I don't know how to fend off for myself. I'm just 12. So yeah, I definitely think family plays a huge part in this role, not only throughout love, but for being there for each other.
Yeah, that is one of the main elements of this adaptation. Love. It's a love story of what you can do for your daughter, what a father can do for his daughter, but it's also the love story of my neighbor Naomi and what she can do to keep his son intact from bullying and happy and productive and have a beautiful future. And it's the same thing with the Logan family. The Logan family, everything they do it for love. And everybody else, and also my best friend, Z, played by Kevin. It is a loving relationship with brothers. And that's precisely why you call your friends brothers, not everybody, but your best friends brothers, because there's nothing you would not do to help them be safe and to be okay. So this is about that. Family plays a key role here, and the love that moves us.
And how did you ground the story in that too?
For me, that was what was so special about the original novel and film. As terrifying as it was, as beautifully shot as it was at its essence a really poignant love story. In the film's case, between two children, one of whom is kind of not really a child, but that was what drew me to the project. And what both Madison and Demian said is so spot on. So much so that when we're in the writer's room, if we're working on a scene, if it's feeling flat, if something's not coming together, almost invariably I say to the writers, we're forgetting how much these people love each other. And once you remember that, then it not only gets brighter, it gets darker too. And that I think is the essence of the show, and both of them spoke to it beautifully.
When we think about the original novel, everyone thinks, oh, it's okay, it's a book about vampires. But this show is not really about vampires. It's about addiction, it's about love, it's about sacrifice. How did you combine everything so that it makes sense?
It felt to me, it's interesting because with both the novel and the film, I adore them both fiercely. I've read the novel probably 20 times. In the film, I'd be embarrassed to 50, 60. And at some point, you trust that it's imprinted in your DNA. And then you start to just be inspired by it to tell the story that you want to tell. And trust that ferocious love you have for the original film and novel are going to bear fruit. So I really was deeply invested in this caretaker-vampire relationship, but particularly as a lens to explore a parent whose child is afflicted or addicted to blood, and the intensity of that addiction in this case, of how destructive it can be, but also to write an homage to a parent's love for that child, and so that is sort of what these properties inspired me to do, and I think it's my aspiration, and I think it's true because of everybody that's circled around in this room, is that we've created something that feels like the original novel and film, but it's kind of its own thing, and like you said, exploring its own themes.
Why New York City?
Oh God, well, I mean, I want to have 45 minutes to talk about how much I love New York City, and I can talk about how it's so great narratively. Demian mentioned the chef, right? The world of food in New York City is one tiny thing, but really fundamentally, it's like America in some ways, the world, just smashed together. And so if what you're really trying to explore is how we treat each other, whether we protect one another or prey upon one another, then you've sort of this beautiful playground that embodies all of humanity, and that I think is really reflected in our cast as well.
And what about the idea of looking for a home, like a forever home, someplace to settle?
Last question, sorry.
I think looking for a home and just finding one place where we could just stay and say that it's ours is definitely something that gives a lot of hope for Ellie. It's also something Mark has been trying to do for a very long time, but unfortunately can't because we always end up on the verge of being caught. So I think definitely staying here in New York is my hope that things will get better, my hope for a cure. And I also think that's what motivates Mark to get me fed, keep me to survive.
What do you think?
Absolutely. I think I find this one of the greatest analogies to many different issues that we're experiencing right now, especially in the U.S. How finding your ground is the most important thing for any human being. And the immigration phenomenon still is the greatest, challenge in the planet. Because everybody, you see a parent holding their kids, fighting oceans and fighting deserts and crossing rivers in order to provide them a better life. And at the same time, those are the bravest. And those people are the new blood in any country that opens their arms to them. And so I don't want to be extra, pretend to be poetic or anything, but that's to me one of the biggest virtues of this series, that we talk about many different things if you pay attention.